Hello, everybody. Happy April 5th, 2020. My name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show, where we talk all things talents in Connecticut. And today, we have a special guest from Quinnipiac, Keane, the assistant baseball coach. Coach Keane, thanks so much for being able to come on today.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Coach Keane, I think probably the biggest thing is how are you surviving through this quarantine? Because I know a lot of people, some people are trying to read books, maybe pick up a hobby. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, we're all kind of fighting the same battle, trying to get through it the best we can. I mean, it's new for everyone. I guess the positives to it is kind of you have a little more free time to do some stuff that you didn't do beforehand. I know, like on the athletic side of things, guys have time to kind of focus on their bodies and get stronger. If they have access to weights and stuff, but you kind of can focus on that with a little more free time and maybe pick up a new hobby that you didn't have time for, whether it be like reading or just kind of trying to find some positives and maybe learn a thing or two while we're all getting through this.
When you broke the news to the Quinnipiac squad, I'm sure they didn't handle it well, understandably so, about their season ending. But what was I guess the reaction a couple days after? Was it still kind of raw to them?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of I don't think it's really sunk in for anyone until kind of we were all away from each other, because when it really we found out that we weren't going to play anymore, it was still kind of some schools were like their play was suspended and others were canceled, so that was kind of weird, not knowing how bad the virus and everything kind of was at the time yet.
Hmm.
So once we learned that like kind of everything was shut down. There's kind of nothing you can do about it. Like everyone's kind of in the same boat, which kind of I guess helps a little. But it was weird for everyone, and you just kind of felt for the seniors without knowing what their future held, and the season being taken away. Something that you work all year for, and it's gone in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, especially when you consider you mentioned about the leagues, how some people were playing, some weren't playing. I mean, I broadcast for the NESCAC, and there was a point where they weren't doing any games in conference, just out of conference, but then they weren't scheduling those games anymore because people did not want to travel. So there was that confusion. I could see why kids were told one game, oh yeah, you're going to play, and then the next game, nope, you're not playing.
Yeah,
You know?
that was definitely because I remember we found out Ivy League canceled their season right before we were playing down in Georgia against Kennesaw State,
Hmm.
and during like BP, and we kind of just proceeded like everything was normal, but you don't really know like what your fate holds in terms of your season. You just kind of had to go about your business the same way as you would have beforehand.
You know what? Let's turn the page a little bit away from the negativity. I think the coronavirus has had enough talk on the media side. Let's bring up a positive, and by positive I mean a shining light to the program. Last year in the Greenville Regional, you beat the number 10 ranked team at the time, East Carolina, a part of the AAC conference, a team that was stacked with talent both
Yep.
last year and this year. Just talk to me about because I had a chance to watch a little bit of the game, and I felt from pitch one that Quinnipiac had something special just by the way that the players were acting. They seemed like they're focused, laser focused. Just talk to me a little bit about that game and just the energy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I kind of started the week going into that game. Ian Osberg, former Blue guy, he mentioned something to me at practice about that he likes the level of focus that we're going about our business that day at practice, and like because you can head into a regional just happy that you're there and you want to play the two games and whatnot, but he mentioned that like we're kind of focused just like we're going about our business like it's a normal game, and that kind of told me that our guys believe they can win, and that's kind of the first step to winning those games is knowing you belong there and compete with them, and that was how it felt the entire week. And then when the game started, it just felt like we had nothing to lose, and our guys also believe like they can win this game and make some noise.
Did it also help that you kind of, I don't want to say you demolished, but you kind of beat up a pretty good pitcher from East Carolina in Jake Kuchemaner, who's a projected top round pick this year. Do you think maybe that kind of gave Quinnipiac a little bit of confidence early in that game?
Yeah. I mean, we had a pretty good report on him going into the game. Coach Delaney put together a good game plan, and I kind of think our guys really bought into that, and it was something we knew we could succeed with. So we jumped on him. We knew we could jump on him early, and that was where we had to get him. Couldn't let him settle in. And so we jumped on him early and knocked him out, I believe, in the second inning. And taking that early lead kind of settles you down, and the rest of the game, you're just there to play.
And then we fast forward all the way until the sixth inning, where you gun out East Carolina at home plate. You keep the game tied, and then you have the 2-run blast by Liam Scarfiello. I can only imagine what the dugout was like after he hit that bomb. But as a coach, what was your first reaction? Did you think it was, as soon as it made contact, it was gone?
Yeah. I mean, with Liam, when he hits him,
they
right
go.
Away. Yeah. He had some special power, but he was in a good spot. It was 3-0, and he knew he was going to be getting a fastball. And to beat a team like that, you kind of got to take some chances. You can't play passive. You got to be the aggressive team, and so we kind of gave him the green light, 3-0, and let him loose, and he did the job he was supposed to do and got into one and gave us that lead.
And that's a great point that you just made about how you can't play, you can't play down or try to do different things. You have to kind of stick to your own game plan. And Quinnipiac, to your credit, stuck to what you guys did so successfully during the season. And even though, you beat East Carolina, you got your first NCAA win in baseball in program history, and then you play against Campbell, and even though you lost, Campbell, again, a very good team. The way you guys were playing, it felt like to me that stretch of games kind of laid out a foundation for future Quinnipiac teams about how to play, but the right way to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once it kind of clicked later in the year for us, we just we played aggressively, and even the East Carolina game, their guy does a good job of controlling base runners, and we kind of told our guys, we're not going to stop the way we play, because we stole a lot of bases last year. We're still going to try to run on them, even though they had a good pitcher that controls running game well and a good catcher. We're just going to play our game and kind of lay it all out there. And same thing with the Campbell game. Just continue to play our game, be the aggressor. I know we bunted for some hits, but we could also drive the ball in the gaps, and we're a little dynamic with that and stealing bases and whatnot. And that was kind of what made us so successful, and moving forward will make us successful.
And, like you said, a successful season, even though it didn't end the way maybe a lot of people wanted as far as getting to the College World Series, winning a championship. I think, like I said, the foundation's there. There's a lot of talent on the team. We mentioned a couple of them. Kyle Maves, Ian Osberg, and Goldrick both played the FCBL last year. Osberg played 2 years ago for the Blues. Just talk about the development from before they came either to Bristol or Nashua to then when they came back after playing for them.
Yeah, I know Maves and Osberg both had really good summers for the Blues, and they kind of both mentioned the same thing, where they went into the season kind of working on things, the summer season, but they also found some things they did really well. And I know both of them, they stole a lot of bases, I believe, in that summer they were there. And that's what's good about the summer leagues is you get the green lights, whether it's at the plate or on the base paths, and both of them kind of found that they could steal in certain situations and whatnot, and it gave them the confidence, and they kind of took that into the season with us. And that's one thing that really helped their development, was kind of learning who they are on their own. And then, with Goldrick, he kind of went up to Nashua and had something to prove, try to make the team up there, and he was letting it loose and had a velo jump, and he's kind of been there ever since, and he's going to have a good future with us.
Now, we talked about Maves real quick. I just want to go back to him because I know seeing him play the entire year, there was this certain style of hitting that he did, and I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I'll tell you right now, where it's not so much a softball drag hit, but it's like a karate chop. The first time he did that, and he sent me a video of him doing it again on Twitter, and I was so ecstatic.
Pulled Price because Price was going towards third. He slipped, couldn't make the play. Charging in was the shortstop. He couldn't make it. Kyle Maves, where have you been?
Because I don't know about you, but I love seeing things I've never seen before. and he does it so successfully. Does he practice that before games, or is it something that he just turns on a switch and just does it?
Yeah, I mean, we practice bunting for hits a lot, but he actually doesn't do that much in practice. Like, it's very rare that he does. He works on the kind of his drags more, but I know he could do it. And he actually, in our last game against Kennesaw State, he led off the game with that. And because we were facing a lefty, and he pushed it past the pitcher, and he's good at it, and it's kind of very unique.
It works.
Yeah. It's almost like he didn't do it on purpose, but I've seen him do it before, so I know he does it on purpose.
Well, I think 3 players that played for the FCBL and could very well help Quinnipiac going forward if and when this virus can kind of subside, but they're good building pieces. Let's talk a little bit about yourself, Coach. I know you were the Legion coach for Towland. You also played for Eastern. Just talk a little bit about your playing career and kind of balancing out both playing and coaching at the same time.
Yeah, so I got to play for 3 different coaches in college, which was I took that as a positive because I could see 3 different styles, and they were 3 different coaches, 3 different styles, and one of them being Coach Holloway at Eastern and Coach LeBranch were both different. And I could kind of take away what I liked, what I didn't like as a player, and kind of what helped me learn when I'm playing and stuff like that. And I could see kind of how my teammates responded to different coaching styles. So that's one thing that kind of helped. And then started coaching Legion with Steve Posh, who his son actually was just a senior with us at Quinnipiac. So I got to coach Nick since he was like 15 years old, and then through Quinnipiac. Steve played at Maryland and then got drafted by the Phillies. So he was good being with him, learning from him, and then getting the opportunity to be at Quinnipiac in 2017 and work with Coach Delaney and Coach Egan. It's been awesome.
Well, Coach Keane, I appreciate the time. Thank you. Now, before I send you off, because I know you must have a very busy schedule being quarantined.
Yeah.
And I always ask this about, if it's a player or a broadcaster, about how they're dealing with the quarantine. But specifically for people who are coaches of high school, college, prep, you name it, what's some advice to give to them during this quarantine? Because I'm sure they're concerned about their players, wanting to make sure that they're safe, but also that they're training correctly, but in a healthy way. So what's your advice to them?
I mean, just staying in touch with the players is kind of the biggest thing, because that's all you can really do, and just checking up on them. And I know, because they're probably bored at home too, so just reaching out and showing that you care, and kind of just checking up on them as much as you can. And then, I mean, from the coaching side of things, there's a lot of coaches that are doing some good things right now on social media with a lot of the podcasts and stuff, and kind of helping grow the game. And there's so many things out there that you can take advantage of with the downtime and kind of learn to help your program, whatever it may be. That's kind of the most positive thing to come out of this.
So are you saying that potentially you could be doing a podcast sometime in the near future?
Yeah, there's 2 of them out there.
Well, Coach, I appreciate, taking some time out of your day, to be able to talk. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Now, make sure you catch us here on the Connecticut Sports Town Show tomorrow. We will have a former Bristol Blue, Christian Seelhorst. So make sure you join us then. But next time here on the Connecticut Sports Town Show, we'll see you again. Have a good one, everyone.